Every girl dreams of her wedding day, but most girls do not dream of being abducted on that day. Today I would like to talk to you about what abduction marriages are, where they happen, and why they haven't been stopped. Abduction marriages, or bride kidnapping, is something that happens every day in the Eastern Hemisphere of the world to young girls. First, let's talk specifically about what an abduction marriage is. Best stated by the United Nations Entity for Gender Equality and the Empowerment of Women, bride kidnapping involves taking a female without her consent for the purpose of forcing her to marry one of her captors. After a man or group of men has captured the young woman of their choice, they proceed to lock her up away from society and beat and/or rape her. They take her away from society so that she could not gain assistance from anyone within earshot. The beatings can occur for days and can include anything from a slap in the face, beating with a brick, a lead pipe, whips, anything. And rapings occur as well. This happens until the young woman agrees to marry her captor. If this is unsuccessful, the man proceeds to go to the woman's family and set a bride price on the woman of their choice. This includes talking with the family and deciding how much the young woman is worth. This amount is usually much worse than a normal wedding would cost, so they are more than willing to pay it. If a young girl does by chance escape from her captors, she's often ostracized by her family because this is considered a shameful happenstance. Now that you know what a bride kidnapping is, let's talk about where they happen. Mostly, bride kidnapping occurs in the Eastern Hemisphere in places like Africa, Central Asia, East Asia, and the Caucasus regions. An article from Taipei Times stated that over 70% of all marriages in Ethiopia occur with some sort of domestic violence, and the numbers are just as high in Kyrgyzstan. These two countries, Ethiopia and Kyrgyzstan, have the highest number of abduction marriages in the world. In these places and other countries, it has become a common fear among women that they will be kidnapped and forced into marriage, so much so that they are afraid to go out in public by themselves, afraid to go to school, and even afraid to make themselves better because they do not want to become a prospect for bride kidnappers. Other countries that this takes place in are Rwanda, Kenya, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Georgia, and China. An interesting article from the Human Rights Watch showed a report reflecting data collected from over 24,000 women around the world that found that the proportion of women who are involved in intimate relations involving violence ranges from 15% to 71%. Basically, this is showing that over half of the marriages occurring in the Eastern Hemisphere involve something like bride kidnapping or another type of domestic violence. Now that you know what an abduction marriage is and where they usually happen, you're probably wondering why they haven't been stopped. It is against the law to perform abduction marriages and any other form of domestic violence. This is clearly stated in the United Nations Declaration sent out in 1993. Article 4 reads that states should condemn violence against women and should pursue by all appropriate means and without delay to eliminate violence against women. Another document that shows that bridal kidnapping is illegal is the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights, which states that marriage should only happen with the consent of both spouses. These two documents give direct proof that bride kidnapping is against the law and that domestic violence is the same. However, authorities are not taking action. In the countries where this is taking place, Uzbekistan, Georgia, China, Ethiopia, authorities are doing nothing to enforce these laws. Many people view abduction marriages as a part of the culture. It's just a common ideology among people. Also, because abduction marriages are being performed forcibly by men, many authorities are afraid to take action. So while it is against the law, nobody is taking action against these men who are causing harm to many young women all over the world. An abduction marriage is a common form of domestic violence that happens in the Eastern Hemisphere from two young women ranging from 11 to 30 years of age. I hope that this speech has informed you about what abduction marriages are and makes you appreciate your wedding day when you walk down the aisle with the spouse of your choice.